Hello, kitties.
We saw Hotel Transylvania.
That scared me white.
You were already pretty white.
I was gonna say it scared me salt and pepper. I think this is for a cameo for Lewis's movie. So yeah, look, but if you see like this shedding like mad, we didn't have the best hairspray. But yeah, so we are here to talk though about Hotel Transylvania 2, which we both saw, and we should probably talk about what we thought of the first one, probably.
It's fine!
Yeah, like, this is another one of those movies that got, like, fucking panned by critics, and they saw, Adam Sandler animated, oh, well, I can't, he's Dracula, do you know the fine actors who play Dracula and stuff like that? And I thought it was not perfect, but it was...
I knew Bela Lugosi through the films I watched with him in it, and you, sir, know Bela Lugosi.
So, we saw this movie, and I was looking forward to seeing the film, honestly. I thought it looked really creative and stuff.
I thought it looked terrible.
But I kept telling him, no, it's actually really good, and it's really funny.
He insisted it was really good. I didn't like it as much as you did. I think you were just, really playing it up, but I was just like, okay, that actually was good.
Yeah, and
I was like, it was fine. It wasn't great.
It's not like a masterpiece or anything like that, but it had great, fast animation. It was really creative, really stylized, really funny, really sweet. It had very likable characters.
Way better than it had any right to be.
Yeah, and especially given, I guess, the history of this movie has been production hell for years, and honestly what we got was, pretty fucking amazing considering the backstory. And, well, that director who did, Samurai Jack and everything, I guess, is I can never...
Did he do Dexter's Lab?
I don't know. We're going to piss off everybody because I can't say the name. I always forget how to say the name and stuff. I'm sure people are going to spell it out in the comments, but he's a phenomenal talent. I mean, any animation nut, has seen this guy's work, and he's really incredible. So this sequel comes out, again, critics don't like it. Well, I guess we give it 10% more. We'll give it that. It's, 57, I think,
It's fine!
It's perfectly... It's just as good as the first one.
Okay, yeah. No, in some ways it's better than the first one. In some ways it's not, but I don't fucking get it.
I'm really wondering...
The funny thing is, this one has better reviews, at least... The last time I looked at it, better reviews than the first one. Though now
the first one is being seen as a Halloween classic. Maybe we'll lighten up a little bit on this one. I do still think there are fart jokes. I heard a fart joke. That fart totally brings it down another 50%.
No, I literally and some people are like, well, it's Rotten Tomatoes. I mean, if you get 50% on Rotten Tomatoes, that's not that bad. It's not that good either.
Yeah.
And it's not the fact that it's only 50%, because sometimes it can be 50%. And a lot of people are on the edge of well, it's, it's not exactly great, and Rotten Tomatoes will kind of rank that as maybe a negative, but there were some reviews that I was reading that was I just couldn't fucking believe it, where it's just there used to be a competition for who had the worst animated films out there, and move over, Rio, so long, Turbo, now we have Hotel Transylvania 2. I'm serious.
You.
There was a review out there like that, and there's a number of reviews that are... So, I'm I get how if it's not your thing and you don't like it.
Yeah, I could totally see not liking this movie.
It's a little slapsticky, and it's
not for everyone.
Yeah, it's definitely aimed at younger kids. It's not one
but
of those...
But there's still so many good adult jokes, and the animation is great, and the characters are great, and I don't know. I still think there's a lot of really great stuff for adults in it as well. Beyond just jokes and personal jokes.
But its base level is definitely skewing under 10.
It's like Tom and Jerry.
It's not as much of a family. It's definitely an under 10, which is fine. But the degree to which some critics are just shitting on this movie, I'm I could get if you don't like it, but you're acting like this is bottom of the barrel. I'm we're not even close to bottom of the barrel if you tried. I'm reading this review that it's just this is about the worst that gets. I can't believe it. And meanwhile, Alvin and the Chipmunks, The Road to Chip, is just around the bend. I'm like, come on.
Well, to be fair, I don't think it's going to get good reviews either. But,
no, that's not
here's
going to
the
get
thing.
good reviews
So,
either, but
like,
I'm like, you want to tell me that this is like bottom of the barrel?
No, like, remember when Despicable Me 2 came out, and we like it fine, but
Yeah.
that's clearly an unfocused mess. It's funny, and we enjoyed it, but it's an unfocused mess, and this, in my opinion, is just light years better, and light years more thought out, and more caring, and more interesting, and more funny characters I remember, and want to know what's going to happen to. And the second one, well, we had the Minions. We like the Minions, and the characters are passable, but it's like, this is, like, light years beyond that, and it's not even close.
And I don't know what the reason is. I don't know if it is the Adam Sandler effect.
I'm really wondering
Where
now.
because, like, Adam Sandler's name is attached, they're like, oh, just...
And don't get me wrong,
I saw the first 5 minutes and my mind was made up when I saw the words Adam Sandler.
No,
like,
and we've been brutal to Adam Sandler. Don't get me wrong. I mean, he has made some
when
terrible movies,
when his
but-
films totally deserve
But
it.
no, it is not fair when somebody who is talented, who's turned out a lot of untalented stuff, but is talented, half wrote this, stars in it, and turns out a really creative, really funny, really a lot of effort is put into this, and it's like, oh, well, I've made up my mind about this person and kind of his crew, like the David Spade, John Lovitz, Kevin James crew. It's like, oh, well, any of those
A
names
lot of
I
whom
just...
are in this movie.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying, that because they're all here and they've been connected to bad projects, it's like, well, then it must be bad. But it's like, no, these people can come together and they can make a good project, and they have. And I think, like I said, if you don't like it, fair enough, but it feels like
I've had
unfair
people
prejudice.
on my public Facebook talking to me like, well, you actually like an Adam Sandler? I'm like,
lots!
Yeah, I mean, can at least go beyond my one hand on Adam Sandler films I've liked.
Yeah.
So there's been plenty. That doesn't mean though I have to sit here and say that Little Nicky's a good movie. It's a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Or that
Or
Pixels
Pixels
is a
is
great
good.
movie. No, it's not. But so it could either be the Adam Sandler effect, or I don't know if this is just like a Pixar kind of better DreamWorks thing where it's just like, the bar for some critics is so raised that to just be a decent kids movie, it's like, oh, well, it's no Inside Out.
Yeah,
Like, it's no Toy Story. It's like, what the fuck is? Like, that's, you're comparing it to way up high.
It's kind of like watching, Beauty and the Beast and then watching a Tom and Jerry cartoon just being, well, that clearly was no Beauty and the Beast. It's like, yeah, that's the fucking point.
Apples and oranges, guys.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. But when you want to try to like tell me that, oh, we're scraping bottom of the barrel and Hotel Transylvania 2 is one of the worst, and I'm like, not
No, get
even
off
in
your
the
pretentious
same
high
ballpark.
horse.
Not even.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I can totally see someone not liking this film, like being like, some of those jokes didn't really go
Now,
anywhere.
we like
We've seen this-
slapstick.
Yeah, we love slapstick.
We love slapstick.
but-
We love Tom and Jerry. We love some of the old Warner Brothers cartoons. So yes, it's more towards us, towards
it's-
those kids who like that. But
the jokes
that
are
doesn't
good
mean
too,
that,
though. These
yeah,
are good jokes, and these are good characters.
Here's the thing: they're good jokes and good characters. But my point is that you have to acknowledge when something does slapstick good, even if you don't like slapstick. It's like, okay, there's the Three Stooges, and then there's really bottom of the barrel. It's like, within the realm of slapstick, this was really good slapstick. And if you
Yeah.
can't even acknowledge that, and you're just like, oh, it's a piece of shit, then I don't think you should be reviewing this movie. Like, I just say that I'm not the target audience, so take that with a grain of salt. And most of the reviews that I read didn't. They just were like, oh, it's shit. And I'm like, what?
Well, and I think like with Roger Ebert, I think was talking about like The Devil's Rejects, and he said, look, this is not my movie, and I don't get into this type of style or genre or whatever, but I know this is a genre, I know it is a style, and it's to be respected, and if you're into this, you will like this fine. This is the kind of mean-spirited torture porn thing, and it does it well. It's just not my thing, and to be fair, he was even saying I don't even know if I'm qualified to even review it because I'm so
Well, I think
out of the loop
the
with
upcoming Goosebumps movie is an example. Like, people are
Yeah.
like, well, it's getting decent reviews. Are you gonna like it? And I'm like, well, I don't know for sure, but I'm like, if I were to guess, I might not really, but I don't think I'm the target audience.
Yeah.
I didn't watch Goosebumps. I didn't like the original Goosebumps that much. It didn't do... I was the wrong generation, wrong age. So it's a PG movie aimed specifically, I think, either to people who watch the show or a new generation.
it. Yeah.
But I would be the first to admit that. If I see it, I'm like, okay, this just was not meant for me.
Yeah,
This is
I mean,
obviously...
it's like Harry
Yeah.
Potter. Those are not the worst movies or anything, but it's just like, this has a huge following that just...
7A was rough to get through.
No, but that's what I'm saying. Like, this is just something that's like, this just isn't for me, you know. But it's
Yeah.
like, if it's you, fine. And I'm not gonna say it's like bad or poorly made. It's just not my thing.
So the
you
movie
know?
itself is good.
Yeah, no, it's I think it's very well made, very funny. There's a few, and there's definitely times where like some jokes fall flat, and even sort of the moral is like, I think anyone can get the moral, but the way they go about it is very Lion King or Disney, where it's like, well, now that I've learned my lesson, let me get everything that I try. You know, I'm now getting everything that these bad deeds have. When I was trying to get, I've gotten.
The thing was, it was co-written by Adam Sandler and I think it was Robert Smigel.
Robert Smigel, yeah. He wrote the first one too, yeah.
You can kind of tell they wrote themselves into a corner because the movie, I thought overall, was pretty well written literally up until the last 15 minutes. I just want to say about maybe 15 minutes before the movie ended.
Yeah, and it's not bad, but it's clearly
not
like,
bad.
you know, we gotta wrap this up.
It clearly was like, oh, well, we wrapped ourselves into a corner, and like you could just see them bouncing ideas off the wall, and Adam Sandler or somebody saying they're just, why don't we just have them all beat the hell out of each other, and then everybody gets what they want? And that's pretty much what happens. But
it's still funny. It's still entertaining.
Very much
but...
aimed. The finale was very much aimed at kids and very slapstick. The only thing I didn't like about it is the moral was kind of weird, but a lot of movies I find have done that. Like Kung Fu Panda is a great example where it's all about the fact that he isn't a kung fu master, that he's his own thing, and then somehow solves the problem by being a kung fu master. I was like, well, that kind of shat on the whole moral.
No, it's very similar.
And this movie does something very similar.
But I think it's the same thing like watching Lion King or Cinderella or a lot of these Disney films where it's like, okay, are they technically breaking the moral? Yeah, but I think it's very clear what the moral is. I think most kids can catch on.
And I think my
it.
thing is, it didn't wreck the whole movie. There's some.
No.
Occasionally, I will find a movie where the ending is so bad it will wreck the whole movie.
Yes.
This didn't wreck the whole movie.
No, it didn't even come close.
The other thing that bugged me about the ending was, I thought the slapstick of all places in the finale was
kind of weak. Maybe because we just saw it everywhere else.
Well, it was too. It was way too. The animation, everything was way too busy. There was too much going on. There was very little focus. I couldn't make out half the time what the hell was going on. It felt very rushed. Like, literally some... I don't know if this happened. It almost like the studio came in and was like, we need this thing now.
Yeah.
By Halloween or whatever. And they're just like, all right.
Okay, finish.
Yeah, meanwhile, some poor guy behind a computer is just getting horsewhipped to death. Yeah. Like, I'm almost done. But I'm trying to... Apart from that, the pop song.
I was gonna say when you start this movie off, you're gonna think, "Oh my God, is this gonna be nothing but excuses to have pop songs?" No, but there are about 2 or 3 times where they are
say about 3 or 4 times,
painfully forced in.
Oh my God!
And it's just like, oh, that was stop, and they're short. But it's
you
like,
can see
stop.
You can literally see some record executive rolling around naked in piles of money.
You see the contract, like right there. Like, you know, Dracula's talking to his grandson, and he's like, "I want you to fly." And the kid dances a little bit. He's like, "Oh, okay. If I bust a move, will you try flying?" It's like,
oh my God,
fucking what? But it's painful. Only a few.
You
seconds.
Literally could hear the ka-ching, ka-ching, ka-ching every song that came out.
Yeah. So that was painful, but like. Nothing else, like I said, apart from a joke being like, "Oh, that could have been a stronger laugh."
That was about it. It had just as much heart as the first one.
Yeah, you know,
and it had one. There was one clear advantage to this one, which is fucking hate Jonathan. I hate that stupid '90s kid cliche character.
Andy Serkis, is that how you say his name?
Andy Samberg or
I think that's it. Yeah, he did the digital shorts.
I don't know who's playing with him. It's not the.
That's the one thing you like really hate it with a passion from the first film.
Yeah, and it's not even so much the voice acting's okay. Like it's just the way the character was written, drawn, everything about him. I'm like, this is so fucking 1996. Like, it's not even fun. Like, when I saw Hotel Transylvania 1, when Jonathan showed up, I literally thought, am I in a different movie? Like, this turned into a 1996 film.
Well, it probably was in development that long.
That may be the problem. That may be exactly what happened.
They never updated that part.
Yeah, they never updated that part. And to be fair to this movie, because I hated him in the first movie.
They cut him out a lot. He's practically pointless.
When the cook was going to kill him in the first movie, it was like, oh, thank God, Mavis can do way better. And I still don't understand what the fuck she sees. But this one, there is so much less of him. And to be honest, the few times he's actually in there, he's not that annoying. So I was like, yes.
No, but
thank you.
in fact, there's a scene. Actually, there's two things I noticed in this scene. One is when they kind of get to that point where it's like, oh, now everybody's sad and the plan didn't work or whatever, and you think people are gonna not see each other or something bad's gonna happen. But again, they make it short. They keep up the jokes, and it works fine. But do you remember, like, Mavis is walking away. There's this big conflict between her and her father. And then you just see him sort of walking away too with a sad face, like, yeah, I'm still in the movie too. Did you get that feeling? I was just like, oh yeah, like he's a thing in this. So yeah, they cut him down a lot. But no, here's an example of why I think this film is so funny and really deserves more.
I thought we were gonna
critics.
get kicked out of the cinema because I think we were laughing louder than the kids.
Yeah,
with some
no,
of the
we
jokes.
were, because this is really legit funny stuff. It is when there's a scene where, and I'm not giving anything away, but there's a conflict between like the Dracula and Mavis, and you know that it's gonna. Dracula's trying to do something he shouldn't be, and he's kind of endangering the kid through it as well. And he's lying about it, so when it gets to a point where she says, are you lying about this? You were here the whole time? Yeah, absolutely. We know what's coming. We know that something's going to be shown to prove him wrong. It's going to be a little bit of a laugh. That does happen. She shows video saying that happened, but the extra mile they go is not only do you see video of him endangering the kid that somebody filmed, but you see a mixed video that somebody did on YouTube
like a
of it
YouTube
happening,
video. Yeah,
and
that
then
was
him
good.
saying this line that you almost miss, where he just says like a little throwaway joke about Mavis, about the mother, and then and it's played over and over and over to this music, and it's done through all this editing, and it's hilarious, and that is going the extra mile.
I think the key too is the side characters really made it. I love Frankenstein. I love the
Wolfman, the Mummy,
They're all, and I think they're even way more entertaining in this film. For one
they
thing,
have more of a connection.
They have more of a connection, and they kind of shortened the character list. I felt like there were more characters in the first one, and in this one...
Well, I'm sure they figured out which ones were the piper. Well, like, the cook is gone, but they still have John Lovitz as a really funny Phantom of the Opera.
Awkward! So... Yeah, I don't know. I thought it was good.
I'll tell you the other thing that I think this film...
not great, but I thought it was...
But I'll tell you... See, this is why I think this film and the first one are going to last, and people are going to watch these, are going to watch them every Halloween, and they're going to really enjoy them, it's not just the jokes, it's not just the creativity, and that it's surrounded in Halloween. I mean, all the classic monsters are there and everything, but there is this totally believable, likable heart to it. It is very sweet, and everybody, even though they're twisted and they're weird and they're into all the psychotic stuff, it's very
like
much
the Addams family.
It's like the Addams family in that they still really like each other and they like being around each other and they share this happiness, and that's part of the joke, is that they share what many people consider to be very loving and kind over this sadistic, crazy, mean-spirited stuff. But they still really legitimately love each other and work off each other.
And that's what makes it work, because it's not a great, despite all of its problems, and both films have a lot of problems. Yeah. It's never gonna be a great, but it's never gonna be like on the same level as Pixar. This isn't a fucking Miyazaki movie. But in its own little world, in its own little place it carved out for itself, it's the heart that really sold it for me.
Yeah, I mean, like I said,
because I'm like, when it was done, I'm like, you know what? It's the A for effort. It's like you weren't always successful in every joke, but you guys did it with so much passion that
there's passion beginning to end in these movies.
It carries you a lot farther than in something so soulless like fucking Smurfs or Alvin and the Chipmunks or any of these other ones. And so I wish more people would see this. I wish it would skip like, shit like Smurfs and Alvin and the Chipmunks. And
well, they do well. I mean, they made a sequel. Sequel did well also. I mean, I would not mind if they put this amount of effort and creativity into every single one of these films. I mean, I don't mind seeing more of them. I mean, usually it's like, oh, come on, you should stop while you're ahead and stuff, but it's like these films are so creative and so likable, and I love these characters so much. I want to know what they're going to happen and how they're going to interact with other things.
Here's something that I think is also worth noting, which is the other one was in development hell, yes, but they had so long to work on the story and this and that. When you consider when the last one came out, the short amount of time till we made it to this one.
Well, wasn't the dude doing a Popeye movie, right? The director? Like, he was going to do a Popeye movie. They had this clip that looked amazing, and then they're like, scrap it, something happened, and then he got this movie. So it's like,
my point is, this is another situation where the amount of time was so short that you would have thought, well, this is going to be the bullshit make a quick buck movie. And it wasn't.
No.
But man, the reviews would make you think it is.
Yeah, no, it really legitimately does not seem fair. Just because somebody puts out there's two films I've seen this week from people that usually do not put out very good material that put out two things. One is Sandler and the other is Shyamalan with The Visit.
Okay,
and
hell froze over.
But Shyamalan, The Visit is getting better reviews than this, and again, I really don't think that's fair, because I think this one really went further with its idea, and The Visit is fun, and I still recommend it, but I think this one's just, from beginning to end, I'm like, no, this is just the better made film. Yeah. And people are like, oh, but it's Sandler, we don't like him, and stuff like that. So fart jokes, nope. Oh, it's David Spade and John Lovitz. We don't like those people, and they're all together. No, I'm going to hate this. And they just decide before they go in that they're not going to like it.
Mel Brooks is in this? Oh, you used to be cool.
Yeah. It's one of those things where it's like, if you're going in...
He may have been the only thing that was kind of like...
You
could have taken or left that, like...
They sort of make it sound like it's going to be about him, but then it's kind of like, no, he just comes in at the end. Which is like, yeah, I'm with you. Like, he wasn't bad or anything, but it's like, I could take this or leave this. But no, it's one of those things, if you go in thinking not wanting to like this movie or thinking you're not going to like it, you probably won't. I don't know if it's going to win you over. But if you looked at the trailers and sort of the creativity and stuff, you're like, I could get into this idea. This could be fun. I think you'll love it.
If you
like the first one, you'll love this one.
Yeah, if you like the first one, or you at least went to the first one, you're like, all right, that wasn't bad. It more of the same. Like in some...
But in a good way.
Yeah, in some ways better, and in some ways there's a few problems. But, as I said, I thought it was really solid pretty much up until the last 15 minutes.
But even the last 15 minutes, because I remember I had a little bit of a problem with the first film too, with again, it's not quite the liar reveal, but it's kind of the, this can't work because society says you can, so one character has to tell the other, I don't love you, I don't like you, and stuff, and it drags a little bit. And there's something almost like that
we just want to do a spoiler alert right now.
No. I think all we can say is that it still keeps the jokes going. It still keeps it funny, but it never distracts too much from the character or the situation.
I guess my only thing is the whole moral was based around, you should have the right and the freedom to be whatever you want to be and this and that, but then what they exactly wanted to have happen, regardless, happens.
Yeah.
So I'm like, that really muted that.
Yeah,
that really
muted and everything.
Yeah, it really muted that message.
Yes, I agree, but I still think, again, I don't know if that's what the
strong points ruin it. It just was the one thing I'm like, man, this came so close, and then it just kind of was like they didn't commit to it.
Yeah, the strength of the movie is the comedy and the characters and the heart, and all of that is still there. The message you can get and you can still pick up what it is, but you're right. It's not the strength.
It's the same as It's like the ending to Toy Story 2, where the whole thing was like, no, toys should be outside and be enjoyed, and we should all get along and this and that, and it's not fair what happens to toys that are wrapped up. And so what do? They like totally take the poor prospector and kick him out, like, so he has some miserable existence with some crazy girl. I'm like, well, for something that was all about, like, teamwork and getting along, that really was a, like, shitty...
Like, he wouldn't do it, though. He was forcing them against their will, so that's what makes him...
I guess, I don't know. I find all the Toy Story movies are kind of strange in the way it, like, plays that aspect up of, like, getting along, and then it always seems to come down to revenge.
In 2 and 3, yeah, that is, like, the one problem for me. The first one was perfect, just the kid that blows up toys. That totally makes sense.
The first one was fine.
But
they didn't doom that kid. Well, maybe they doomed him to a lot of therapy. Yeah. They didn't doom him to a miserable experience.
They gave him his comeuppance.
The second one in particular bothered me. The third one, I was like, that fucking bear was so messed up. I'm like, okay, like, I can kind of see this, but...
But yeah, we really enjoyed it. It's not like a comic masterpiece or anything, but I can really see people watching these films every Halloween. I know I am. I mean, it just gets me in the mood for Halloween, and it's very funny and very sweet and very creative. And I definitely recommend it.
Adam Sandler's not obnoxious in it.
No, and he can do both the funny and he can do the heart, and he can even do a funny voice. All three of those work in these movies. Yeah. And he half wrote it. I mean, it's good.
This should
it's
tell
a
you
good
something.
Adam Sandler movie.
David Spade is not that obnoxious in it.
Yeah. Well, of course you never see him, literally.
Someone who was the bane of my existence, like growing up in high school, like the David Spade movies and stuff. I'm just like, Like, I could do him just fine.
Yeah,
like,
no, he's very funny. So I think this movie goes the extra mile in terms of the comedy and the heart and the creativity. Like I said, there's faults in it, and if you're looking to not like it, if you're looking like, dude, I don't think I'm gonna like this, you probably won't. But if you see the idea, say, this could be a fun idea, it'll be exactly that. It'll be a fun idea, and I think it'll even go.
But if you're reading reviews and they're like, "This is the death of animation,"
no, tell them to shut the fuck up.
don't fucking believe it.
Write them and tell them to shut the fuck up. No. But yeah, it's we both really, really enjoyed it. And actually, it shows our passion for it because I just realized we never did like do the opening for this. We just sort of started. We usually do like a little sibling rivalry opening, but I was just like, no, I just really want to talk about this because the critics are not being fair. They are not being fair.
I don't like your little stupid openings anyway.
Well,
so
there you go. Maybe we'll get rid of it.
good.
Fine.
It's decided.
Great.
We won't have an ending either. Cut.